Good morning, everybody. We're going to start in 2 minutes and we're going to start relaxing on our backs. I personally have a block under my head just because I feel like it today, but just find a comfortable spot on your backs, nice and relaxed. Your hands can be on your belly or down by your side. We have another 2 minutes before we're going to start class officially, and then we're going to stay in this pose for another 2 or 3 minutes after that. So if you're ready, just get comfy. It's a nice gray day outside today, so I thought we'd start a little chill and relaxed. Today is a nice, just regular, traditional flow practice. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. Think about what you want to get out of today's practice and flow. Common phrase in yoga is that it is truly a practice, not a perfection. So even if there are poses that are hard for you or challenging for you or just challenging for you today, that's okay and that's encouraged. You never want to do anything that's totally easy 100% of the time. You always want to find your edge. So think about how much of your edge you would like to find today. If you are just doing more of a restorative practice, you don't have to find it at all. But if you'd like to work on balance, or core strength, or flexibility of some body part, just think about it. What can you do to maybe push beyond the traditional poses that we're going to be doing today? For example, if you want to work on your back strength, maybe you spend a little bit more time making sure that back is 100% straight instead of arched or bent in any way in any of our poses. Maybe if you want to work on hamstring flexibility, you spend a little bit more time in a pose. You don't have to necessarily flow exactly with me. You can stay in a pose longer and then join me when you're ready. Maybe you want to work on upper arm strength. So maybe when we do cobras, you do upward dogs. And really spend time thinking about the poses and postures when you go into them. Or maybe you just want to totally disconnect from the world for 45 minutes and you just want to focus 100% on what I'm saying and not think about it at all and just go one into the next into the next. It's your 45 minutes, so you can pick. And if you want to change your mind halfway through, that's fine too. All right, so let's just look to the left-hand side, drop that left ear. Big breath in and big breath out. And then switch other ear on the ground. Big breath in, big breath out. Kind of look straight up. Lift your arms straight up in the air, and we're going to do kind of like thriller arms. So your palms are really pushed down, and you're really stretching out those forearms. And then take your hand and push down on just one side, just that extra weight of your hand pushing. And then the other side. Release that, bring those arms overhead. See if both shoulders can touch the ground. Can both elbows touch the ground? And can both the wrists touch the ground? Some days are better than others for me. So right now I can feel that my left shoulder is touching the ground without a problem at all, but my right side is straining a little bit. So that might mean that my upper chest and pec muscles on my right hand side are tighter than my left. So what can I do to help alleviate that? By stretching my pecs over the course of the day. Bend those elbows and make yourself into kind of a goalpost. Now see, does that change anything for you? Hug those arms into your chest and give yourself a big old squeeze. And then switch arms, which one's on top? Release that, grab your left knee into your body. And just kind of give it a little side to side and up and down. Just kind of see how that hip is doing today. Any creaks or pops are fine, but any sort of pain is not. And then take that leg and bring it all the way over to the right side of your body. And just do a nice little twist. In this position, I can see the workout that I have prepped for tomorrow's class, which is a fitness challenge. And I'm looking at it going, oh, those look hard, and how nice and relaxing this pose is. So it's a perfect thing of, that's what's coming up for me next, is in tomorrow's workout, that I really should be focusing on this workout. So can you use the same thing with maybe what you have to do with work next or family next? All right, so let's take that left leg and straighten it out as much as you can. And then try to relax that leg as much as you can. Can you bring that ankle leg up maybe a little bit higher? If not, no worries. All right, let's bend that knee and bring it back to the center. Do a couple more little motions side to side, up and down on that leg. And then straighten that leg and bring the right knee in. Let's do a couple little movements in all directions here at that hip. And then bring that knee all the way over to the side. How does this side feel in comparison to the other side? If you sleep on your side, just one side a primary source of comfort for you versus the other, or do you kind of roll all over the place during your sleep? All right, let's straighten that leg. And now can you get a little bit longer, maybe? All right, let's bend that knee, come back to the center. And let's hug both knees in. And then let's roll forward and back a few times. And then come to seated. All right, get yourself all situated here, sitting up nice and tall on those hip sits bones, which are basically the points of contact with your lower hips to the mat. Nice and tall, and then let's do a couple of circles one way. And then the other. And then lean forward. Bring those forearms to the ground as much as you can. Remember, it's still early in the practice. You're still a little chilly. Come on up. Twist towards your left knee and come down just a little bit. Walk yourself forward. Come on up. Pivot to the other side and walk yourself down. Come back to the middle and switch those legs. Walk yourself down in the middle. Come on up, pivot to one side. Come on up and to the other side. And back to the middle, roll yourself up, and we're gonna go right into a downward dog here. So we're gonna go into our tabletop, and then kick one foot back and the other foot back. Bend those knees very much, and pedal out those feet. And then when you're ready, find some stillness. Your knees can be bent very much. Mine are. And then walk those feet up to meet your hands. Your knees are bent a lot still. And you're just letting that upper body hang. Then let's roll very slow all the way up to standing and really pull those shoulder blades back. And then standing up nice and tall, hands down by your side. Now let's bring those shoulders in and then bring them back out. Let's go back and forth here. One more like that. And then really pull back, interlace those hands behind, and really open up that chest. All right, keep those hands behind, and then just leaning on over with a flat back, bending from the hips. And then coming up. Let's do that 4 more times. So bending over, flat back, and up, flat back, and up. Just 2 more. Flat back, and up. Flat back, hold it. Release those arms, let them hang. And then very slow all the way up. Take your right arm lifted up towards the ceiling. The left hand is down by the side. And you're going to just do a little side bend here. Bring that right hand down to the side. Bending towards the knee. Then come back up. Side bend. Come on back. A little tiny bend to the other side. And then one more. Come up. Side bend. And come on up. A little itty bitty bend to the other side. Come back to neutral, shake it out. The left hand up towards the sky and bending on over. Come on up, bring that hand down. Itty bitty bend. Number 2. And come on up. Little bitty bend. And number 3. And then come on up. Little bitty bend. And then stand that up. Shake it out. Swing those arms forward and back a few times. And let's get into some little flows. All right, so let's bend those knees. Hands touch the ground. Bring your right leg back. Bring your left leg back. Come onto your knees and come all the way down. Hands by your shoulders. Lift yourself up and back down. 2 more like this. Lift yourself up and back down and up and back down. Push yourself into tabletop and then into plank. And then into down dog. Big breath in, big breath out. Lift that right leg out behind you. Bring that knee to your nose. And then bring that foot right in between to meet the front of your mat. Lower that back knee. Bring your hands to your hips. Steady yourself. And arms up towards the sky, with a little back bend if you so desire. Bring those hands up, windmill and forward. Kick the leg back into tabletop, back into plank, and back into downward dog. 2 breaths. Lift that left leg out behind you. Bring that knee in and bring that foot forward. Drop the back knee and lift up, hands on your hips. And then hands up towards the sky. A little bend if you want. And then windmill it forward. So we're gonna go through that 2 more times, a little bit faster. Come back to tabletop. Plank, downward dog. 1 breath. You lift that right leg. Knee to nose, foot up. Drop that back knee. Lift yourself up. Arms up. A little bend. Come forward. Tabletop. Plank. Downward dog. Left leg up. Knee in. Foot out. Back knee down. Lift up. Arms up. Little back bend. And come on down. 1 more time. Tabletop. Plank. Downward dog. Breathe 1. Breathe 2. Right leg up. Knee in. Foot. Drop the knee. Come on up. Arms up. Bend back. Bend forward. Tabletop. Plank. Downward dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lift the left leg. Knee in. Foot down. Knee down. Come on up. Hands up. Back bend. Swing forward. Back to tabletop. And then sit back on your heels and roll yourself up. All right, so how did that feel? Did that give you a little bit of blood flowing? I hope so. Take a second here if you need to catch your breath. All right, so we're gonna do that again. We're gonna go for 3 more times, but now we're gonna add in that high plank. I'm sorry, high lunge. So if you'd rather stay in the lower lunge, then you got 3 more chances to stay in that low lunge. But we're gonna do the same exact thing, except instead of dropping that back knee, we're just gonna stay up, do a little back bend, and go through that 3 more times on each side. All right, big breath in, big breath out. Has come to tabletop. Shake your booty a little bit, left to right. And let's go into our down dog. Alrighty, and just do pedal a second or 2 here. Get all the wiggles out. Alright, so lift that right leg behind you. Knee in, foot down, now stay up. Give you a couple of extra seconds here to get up, no rush. Position yourself, get yourself situated, and then do you want to lift your arms today? Maybe, maybe not. Do you want to do a little back bend? Maybe, maybe not. Swing those arms down. Come back into your plank and right into the downward dog. So we're taking out that tabletop. Lift that left leg behind. Knee in. Foot down. And lift it on up. No rush, taking your time. Especially that first one. Lift those arms. And a little back bend. All right, come on down. Let's do that 2 more times. Plank. Downward dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lift the right leg. Knee in, foot down, roll it on up. Arms up. Back bend. And come on down. Plank, downward dog. Breath in, breath out. Lift that left leg. Knee in, foot down, and then lift it on up. Arms up, a little back bend if you want it. And then arms down. One more time. Plank, downward dog, breath, and lift the right leg. Knee to nose, foot in front, and slowly roll it on up. Arms up, little back bend, and then come on down. Plank, downward dog. We'll get a little rest after this one. Lift that left leg, knee in, foot down, roll it on up, and then arms up. Little back bend, and hands down. Come to your plank, and then lower yourself all the way down. Hands underneath your chin, relax. Breath in, breath out. So how was that? That feel okay? So for the next step, we're going to add on. We're going to do that, what we just did, the lunge with the arms up. And then we're going to rotate that back leg and then bring our arms out to the side for warrior two. So same concept, 3 rounds, and then we get a little break. If you are keeping that back knee on the ground, I'll show you here. So you're here doing your lunge here like I did before. If you're not in the mood to come up to that high lunge and you still want to go into that warrior two, just do it here. Totally fine. All right, so push yourself back up to a tabletop. Give a little booty shake. All right, and then come into our downward dog. All right, lift that right leg really nice and high behind you. Bend that back knee, foot on the ground, coming up. Our hands are going to be on our hips. Arms are going to be up. And then we're going to pivot on that back leg and come into our warrior two. Hang on here for a couple seconds. Really pull those hips and belly button in. And then let's go back down, cartwheel back down, into our plank, and into our downward dog. Other side, lift that left leg up, bring that knee in, come forward, standing on up, ooh, little balance, arms up, and then pivot, warrior two, breath in, breath out. Let's go back down. 2 more times, just like that. You're getting the routine. Downward dog. Right leg. Bring it on through. And come on up. Arms up. Pivot. Open on up. Big breath. Windmill forward, plank, downward dog, Left leg behind you. Come on in. Foot down. Roll it on up. Arms up. Pivot and open. Cartwheel it down. Plank. Downward dog. Right leg up. Right leg in. Foot down. Roll it up. Arms up. Open that foot. Warrior two. Big breath. Cartwheel it down. We got one more left. Plank. Downward dog. Left leg. Knee in. Foot down. Lift up. Arms up. Open it up to the side. Almost done. Cartwheel it down. Plank. And then come all the way down. Hands underneath your chin and relax. That was amazing work. Take a breath. That was a lot of time on our wrists and a decent amount of time of plank. How did you do? Did you find that edge that you potentially wanted to or not? All right, bend that right leg, and if you have a strap and you know that you can't reach, this might be a good time to grab it if it's relatively near you. If not, no worries. Take your right hand, and can you reach that right leg? Now I want that foot to be pulled straight in as compared to way out to the side. So you want that foot to be touching your butt or in that general area. And if this feels good, can you flip your hand around so you're grabbing the arch on the other side, but that foot is still straight in? I know when I grab that arch, my tendency is for my foot to flip out to the side. We didn't want that. And if this is uncomfortable for your shoulder, just flip that grip over to the outside of the leg. Release that leg. Let's switch over to the other side. Take your left hand, bend that left leg, and just grab the outside of your foot. Then can you flip your grip, also keeping that foot in line. Release that. Now can you do both sides at the same time, gripping the outside? Can you lift your chest a little bit off the ground here? I think my voice just cracked a little. And then come back down, relax. Can you lift your chest again? And back down. And one more time. Up. Can you hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Release those feet and just wiggle those hips side to side. Big breath. Bring those hands to your shoulders and push yourself back and onto all fours. We're going to do a little threading of the needle here. So all that means is you're going to take your left hand, you're going to lift it up to the sky, and then thread it through the right arm. And you're going to bring your head to live on the ground. Left ear is on the ground, give or take, and that butt is high up in the air. Your right hand can either be semi-near your face, or it can be out in front of you, whatever feels more comfortable. I like my hand near my face, but that's me. And we're gonna stay here for a minute and just breathe in and breathe out and try to relax as much as possible. One more breath. All right, and then take your hand, if it is not by your face, put it by your face now, and push yourself back up into that tabletop. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Right arm comes up. It threads through. My right ear is on the ground. My butt is in the air. And my left hand is either by my face or in front of my head. And breathing in and breathing out. One more breath. Bring that left hand by your face if it's not already, and push yourself back into downward dog. And then sit back on your heels. So roll those shoulders back. And sitting up nice and tall. All right, swing those legs around in front. So we're kind of going into a staff pose, which is basically just making yourself into a giant letter L. Your feet are in front of you, your back is straight, and there is a tiny little bend in your knees. All right, so we're going to have our hands down by the side. We're gonna lift our hands up, and they're gonna rotate and try to touch an ankle, and come on up. I'm not touching my ankle. I am nowhere near my ankle, but I'm trying. And rotate, and back up, and rotate, and back up. All right, if this feels good, stay here. If you want to add on, bring your arms out to the side. Let's get this way so I don't hit the wall. And I'm going to rotate, touch that ankle, come up, rotate, touch that ankle. Those toes are pointed up. Only bending from the hips. We have 3 more each side, no matter what variation you're choosing. And one more. And then relax. All right, bend that left knee and hug it out into your chest. I want you to grab that knee with your left hand. And then take your right hand behind you, and we're twisting. Come back to the center, grab that knee with the right hand, release the left hand, and twist to the other side. Depending on if you've eaten breakfast or not, these twists, you may have noticed in time, will kind of give you a little tummy grumbling. It's just really kind of pushing that food through a little bit. Come back and stretch out. That's kind of the benefit of home practice. You don't have to worry about what noises your body makes because no one else can hear them. All right, so we're going to grab with our right hand. And we're going to twist away from that knee. Come back to the center, grab that knee with the other hand, and twist. Come back to the center, straighten those legs out, scoot your butt, and then roll all the way down, hiking those knees into your chest. And then drop those knees to the side, feet touching each other. Cobbler's pose, recline. And we're gonna go for the same concept here, but not. So your hands are gonna be either on, let's everyone start with your hands on the chest, and you're gonna lift your shoulder blades up off the ground and kind of do a little rotation to one side and a little rotation to the other side. So just your shoulder blades are coming off the ground here. A little crunch. And if this feels okay, then bring the hands behind the head. We're going to do 8 more, no matter what way you're doing it. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Are you pulling with those hands, or are you moving with your upper body? 3, 2, and 1. And then lower down. Move those feet farther away from your hips, but your knees are still open to one side. Starting to cool it down. Bring your knees together and roll onto your right side. Support your head and neck, straighten out those legs, and we're going to do a couple rebos to each side, and then we will pretty much be done. All right, so take your top leg, whatever it is, pop it out to the side. You're going to come up, rainbow, tap it down, and switch. We're going to do 10, and this is number 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Come back to the center, roll yourself over. You're on your other side, supporting your head and neck. Take your top leg, bring it forward, up, and over for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Come on back to center. Bring those knees into your chest, and we're going to hang out here for a second. If you would like to do your Shavasana here in this pose, that's your choice. If you feel a lot more comfortable doing it more the traditional way, roll onto your back. Straighten those legs. And we have 2 minutes here to cement our practice with relaxation. How do you think you did today? Did you work on the thing that you said you wanted to work on? Did you just totally disconnect for those 45 minutes? If you did, great. If not, what held you back? I have 1 more minute here in our relaxation. We're actually going to end here in your relaxation. So stay here, stay on your back, eyes closed, relaxed. I invite you to stay here for as long as you feel like you need to today. That could be 30 more seconds, that could be 3 more minutes. Technically, if there's no one in your living room, kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, wherever you're practicing right now, you can stay for as long as you want. But I invite you to stay here for a couple more seconds or minutes. Really relax. Think about what you did for the last 45 minutes and think about what you're going to do for the next 45 minutes and 45 hours. If I don't see you, have a wonderful weekend. And we'll be back at this practice next week. Monday, if you are interested, we have our chair yoga. We're going to be doing a little bit of floor work with that chair yoga today. On Monday, so if that's something you're interested in, either take a look at the schedule and see if that you can make it on that particular day, or if not, just check the YouTube page or Facebook page for later when it is posted. Thank you so much for coming today. Really appreciate it. And have a great weekend.